Now, President Trump is not doing so well. According to a new CNN poll, marking his 200th day in office, God help us that he's lasted this long, a majority of Americans now think that Donald Trump, President Trump, is an abysmal failure as president. Sad. I wonder why that is. Could that be the absolute failure of Trump care? The lack of any legislative accomplishment? Or the fact that he's taken more vacation time than President Barack Obama did? And look, he took more vacation time in his first 200 days than Obama did in his entire first term. So, I don't know. Maybe. Let's break down the numbers. According to the poll, 59% of Americans believe Donald Trump's presidency has so far been an absolute fucking failure. That is almost 2/3 of the country, a little more than half, calling Donald Trump a failed president already. So let's look at why. Now, just 43% of respondents say that Trump can bring the kind of change that the country needs. That is down from 48% in April, and the share of those who say he can manage the government effectively now stands at a paltry 39%. That is down from 44% back in April. Now look, Donald Trump, he ran as a change maker. Now he promised to drain the swamp. Well, what did he do instead? Well, he built a bigger swamp and invited all the swamp monsters. People like Stephen Miller, Gary Cohn, Stephen Bannon, and a whole bunch of other Goldman Sachs guys. Yeah, Donald Trump, he loves holding them Goldman Sachs, man. I'm not going to say anything more on that. He's got the richest cabinet in history. That's not draining the swamp. And look, it's because, well, I don't like hiring poor people. I don't want to hire poor people into these positions. These positions are really, really important. I wouldn't want a poor person to do it. Look at the disdain, man. He can't stand you. He hates you. If you're poor and support Donald Trump, you're completely ignorant. You have no idea. He hates you. Hates you. He doesn't think you're qualified to be in government, for one. And he doesn't even, look, he doesn't want you on the golf course, even. He thinks golf is a rich person's game. Come on. So, as for running the government, he's shown that he's incredibly inept and unqualified. He's incompetent. He gets bored during policy meetings, can't read more than a page of briefings. It's got to be down to a half a page, filled with cool graphics and maps. In fact, when they were getting him ready for his European trip, they had to give him his talking points in tweet length size. I mean, well, look, he can pay attention to tweets, right? So we'll just put all these policy points, stuff that he needs to know for his trip, into tweet lengths, into 140 characters. Let's spoon feed it to him one tweet at a time. Look, how can you get the complexities of, for example, international trade in 140 characters or less? Come on, man. Look, these are not liberals saying this. This is not speculation. This is coming from inside the White House. Insiders, okay? People who work for him. And that's not even the worst of it. Now, his aides have also had to put his name throughout certain briefings in order to just keep him interested. Oh, it's talking about me. Ooh. Guy's a child. He's a baby. And he can hardly put his pants on in the morning, much less run the actual federal government. I've got more disastrous numbers. On every other metric, excluding national security and the economy, Trump is in the toilet. On healthcare policy, he has got a 62% disapproval. Foreign affairs, 61% disapproval. Immigration, 55%. Helping the middle class, 54%. That's disapproval. Disapproval. Nearly half, 48%, disapprove of his handling on taxes, while just 34% approve. Now, I said he does better on foreign policy and the economy, right? Well, again, he fares only slightly better. 48% approve to 47% disapprove on his national security. And Americans are also divided on his handling of the economy, which is 47% disapprove to 45% approve. These are terrible poll numbers. More. 62% have less confidence in Trump now than when he took office. Now, so basically, when he gets into office, he takes whatever political capital he has and just shits on it. It's gone. And look, he didn't have a ton when he came into office, not a ton of goodwill. Now, it's absolutely gone, and 2/3 of the country has absolutely no confidence in him. Now, one of the reasons that this poll is so disastrous is, look, he already lost most of the country, right? He was super unpopular the day that he came into office. But now he's even losing some of his base of support. Strong approval among Republicans has dropped from 73% in February to only about 59% now. Sad. Now, there's another poll from IBD TIPP poll. It shows, again, he is losing bigly with the base. According to them, Trump lost the most support from those with household incomes between $30,000 and $50,000. Among this group, Trump's approval ratings dropped from 40% in July to just 27% in August. But what about white men? White men, who are the only group that overwhelmingly approved of Donald Trump, everybody else disapproves, dropped from 51% in July to 44% in August. Even white guys are like, not interested. He's not doing what he says he's going to do, or that he said he was going to do. The August poll also found that just 33% of respondents give Trump high marks for his handling of immigration, and just 34% do so for his handling of the economy. Both are down from last month. And that same poll, again, that's from IBD TIPP, found that 51% now say the economy is improving, compared with 47% who said so in July. Now, that's interesting. The economy is getting better. A lot more people are happy with the way the economy is going. Shouldn't that actually reflect on Donald Trump or any of his policies? Well, as IBD noted previously, Trump's approval ratings are unusually low given the current economic environment. Despite Americans' optimism regarding the economy, according to the poll, multiple factors are collectively offsetting the boost that the economy should be giving Trump and driving down his approval rating. Sad. Now back to the CNN poll. Just 30% say they admire Trump, and 34% say they're proud to have him as president, while a majority, 55%, say he's lowered the stature of the office of the presidency. Now, why is that? Well, let's go to some of the things that he does as president. Well, number one, tweeting, right? Now, and 7 in 10 actually agree that the president's assessment, or with the president's assessment, that Twitter allows him to communicate with his supporters without this media filter. Now, that's actually true. I agree with that. That's factual. Yes, you can directly tweet out to your supporters. And so that's not really like a negative or a positive. It all really depends on how you use it. Now, how has Trump used it? Pretty negatively, I think, not just in my opinion, but in his own supporters' opinion. Now, a majority, 52%, say his tweets are not an effective way for him to share his viewpoints on important issues. And 72% say they do not send the right message to other world leaders. So you've got a majority of people like, yeah, of course, this is a great way to reach your supporters. Except that you're not using it the way that we would like you to use it. What you're doing is that you're not actually talking about your policies, what you would do. No, in fact, most of the people said that, and this is 7 in 10, so 70%, say that his tweets are too often in response to TV news that the president has seen. That's it. 71% say they're a risky way for a president to communicate. 6 in 10 say that they're very easy to misunderstand. And 63% said that they too often turn out to be misleading. Now, look, all of this basically points to the fact that Trump, all he cares about is his image. All he cares about is his brand. There's another part of the poll where very few people, probably somewhere around a quarter of respondents, actually trust what's coming out of the White House. They have no trust in the White House, no trust in the president, and no confidence. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.